Bien, bonjour.
Good afternoon.
Comme je suis un universitaire, je vais commencer par une citation.
As I am an academician, I'd like to start with a quote. Jean-François Revel said that ideology is what thinks for you. What did he mean? I think he meant two things. The first is that when you have too much ideology, you are in an automatic mode. You stop thinking by yourself, and you become lazy on the intellectual point of view. And the second thing that might be a bit more subtle is that when you are too radical in your ideology, your lack of humility.
Alors pourquoi est-ce qu'on manque de modestie? Tout simplement parce qu'on croit détenir
we believe that we hold the truth.
la vérité.
And as we believe that we hold the truth, well, we don't need to face the reality. We think that the good intentions are enough. And as we think that they are enough, then you only have to follow your intentions to have the right result. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, because the world is complex. The best example in the story of the 20th century is communism. The intentions were good at the beginning, raising of inequalities, but the result is dictatorships, millions of deaths. So that there is a match between the intentions. So why is there such well, because the world is complex, the reality is complex. So, by definition, no ideology comprehend this whole complexity. The reality is too complex. All our ideologies are wrong. So we have to be humble enough, and I think that this is the key word here. Have to be humble enough to accept that beliefs are wrong. So this way, we can question them, and this way change a bit our perspective. And maybe we can go towards some form of truth. So why do I talk about that? Well, because I think that there is an institution that is essential in our society. It's a university. It is supposed to have a mission, which is truth. I think university is in danger. The first threat comes from the outside, because there is a whole world, economic, political, that wants to silence the university as soon as it doesn't say what it would be expected to say. This is what we have seen with Donald Trump. We've seen that the academic world didn't suit him, so he decided to silence it. But there are also difficulties from the inside. It takes other forms. But what we see in the academic world is more and more lack of tolerance in front of ideas that are not considered as conventional. We judge, we cancel. So when we reach such a level of aggressivity, then it means that we are in a form of radicality. And based on what I've said before, I think it's a bit dangerous. So one example I could give you in my university, I'm an economist, I'm a researcher in social sciences. One of the key elements of our reflection are inequalities. Inequalities can take several forms. It can be based on revenues, of your social situation, the inequality of opportunities. In this field, we have the measure of inequalities, the understanding of the causes and consequences. Do we have to fight inequalities? It's not that obvious. And if we decide to do it, how? So it adds many difficulties. So we should have humble in front of that. And social sciences should be humble as a whole, because we are not in hard sciences. And everything we know in social sciences can be questioned more easily. So it should raise some form of humility. And however, we see the reverse situation. So let's start from the beginning, the measure. The measurements. Have inequalities increased, lowered, decreased? We always hear that they have increased, but what is surprising is that no one says that there are different indicators of inequality. What kind of indicators are we talking about? Are we talking about the Gini? Not all the indicators tell the same thing. They don't all go in the same direction. Do we think before or after the taxes? For example, when we check the revenue inequalities, before the taxes, there is an increase of inequalities, but after the transfer, it's not the case. On the contrary, based on the different indicators, the inequalities have never been as low as today. This is something we don't often hear, but it's a reality. So here we see all the complexity, because if we don't agree on the initial measurement, then how could we agree on what we have to do to fight inequalities, because we are not even sure of that they evolve the way we think? This leads me to everything the debate we have on the Zuckman tax. I've seen a survey where 80% of people are in favor of the Zuckman tax, but I don't know if they are really aware of the complexity that is behind that, or if such a high level doesn't hide something more, something deeper. I'd just like to remind you that for me, humility is the key element of truth. Thank you.